these camp out. All right, here we are, time for another midweek video. And today we're going to talk about how we took this compact VHS camcorder by JVC and we're able to actually convert the old school analog technology to digital and then put it on YouTube. So stay tuned. So there's a brief overview of what the camera looks like. Now, this type of camera right here in the mid to late 90s, they actually wanted to start scaling down, make things more sleek, a lot lighter, transportable, packable, and they went from those large VHS tapes to a smaller VHS-C, which is probably about 1/3 of the size. And I'll show you that here right now. It actually fits inside here. You pop this button right here and the top will open up. And there we go. There's your cassette tape right there. And to be honest, it's about the same size as a cassette tape for your vehicle. Those older vehicles is just a tad bit wider. Probably about double the thickness. But length and width are about exactly the same. Pop your tape in, close the system, and then lock it. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the battery pack. That's this big rectangle right here in the back. Has a battery release button, pops right off, and you can see the size of that. Now keep in mind, this is 1995. Things are scaled down. The old school 1980s batteries were about that big and about that thick, and weighed probably about a pound each. So something like this back then was a godsend. This is a modern battery that was made for systems like this. It's about 6 months old, and it is not a lithium battery. It's one of those nickel something, and fully charged takes 4 hours, and it lasts 30 minutes. If you use a light with that, or any type of rewinding or fast forwarding, or start, stop, things like that, it just kills the battery. Cold definitely kills the battery. So brand new battery lasts 30 minutes. Those cassette tapes on normal speed, 30 minutes. Now you can actually slow it down and extend that tape to 45 minutes and even an hour. However, the quality goes down. Best quality you're going to get in a camera like this, it's not HD, is about 480. And that was top of the line for home use back in the day. Let's go ahead and put this battery back on here. Locks in place, you're good to go. Next to it, there's this shiny plate right here. That's for a remote. This is your light for like a backlight for darker rooms. And underneath it is your microphone or your speaker. Now, with this one right here, it's not a good example of the times. This is more of a cheaper version. There's a small dot right here, and I'll show you that here in a minute. It's like a small indentation. That's where an upgraded version would have a port for an external microphone or even headphones. As this one sits right now, there is no way to add a microphone to this, and there's no way to actually do a playback and actually hear the sound that was recorded. The only way to do that is to plug it into a TV or a VCR. So that's the downside of what you're working with something like this. Now, there were ones that at the time, the speaker was a dual system where you could do a playback, look inside your viewfinder, watch the video, and actually hear what you recorded to make sure that it actually worked. Or pop headphones in and listen to it. Those were more expensive. But for a basic home model that was $400 or $500, maybe anywhere from $500 to $700 back then, you know, this is what you got and what you had to work with. Now, speaking of viewfinder, as this sits right here and I'm pointing it towards you, there is no way to tell that what I'm looking at is actually in the frame unless you're looking inside that viewfinder. There was no flip screen back then. There was no way to look at the screen and see yourself in there to make sure you're in the frame and things are focused. It was strictly meant to point and shoot, first person perspective. I'm gonna walk through the woods. Think of that movie Blair Witch Project. They're running, it's all shaky, they're like trip and fall. The camera shows everything in first person perspective. That's what this was for. Now, if somebody was recording you, they can see if you're in the frame and tell you where to move, where to go. All right, cut, then I can get this angle over here. So you can do a lot of things with this if you have a second person. But I found a way to cheat that, and I'll show you that here in a minute. So I can put it where I want it, guarantee I'm in the frame, and do my thing. Next, let's go ahead and move on to some features of this camera. Starting right here, there's your play button to look inside the viewfinder to actually see what you recorded. Pushing this up and down goes to the camera, and you can actually point and shoot, and there's your record button right there. Moving over here, there's your focus. Take a quick snapshot, and in playback mode, when you lift this up, you actually have buttons here for rewind, fast forward, stop, play, pause. You can set the time and date. There's your tape speed selector right there to slow the tape down for less quality or less tape for higher quality. The MWB is your manual white balance, so you can check between a sunny day, clouds, etc. And pretty much that's it right there. Anything you typed on this, you have to look through there to make sure that it was actually inputted into the computer that's inside here. Along with that, you have your audio and your video buttons, or actually ports for your TV. Moving to this side over here, we have our F1 and F2 buttons that are for preset conditions. Like if I want this set on sports for fast movement, where it will automatically focus no matter what I do, I can program it to be on F1. If I want nighttime already preset, I can set it here, and I can actually get a better view of night shots and stars, etc., etc. Again, there's your push button to lock your system or lock your tape in place. Eject to pop open your system and pull your tape out. There's an auto pause and your light or the backlight. Now, filming with this camera and the brand new battery, and even using this cassette tape right here, I found and actually was able to prove 3 times in a row that the tape is 30 minutes along with the battery. They both worked out within 1 minute of each other at continuous recording. Now, if I slowed it down, I'd probably get about 45 minutes out of this, and maybe even the battery, but the quality is going to go down. And 480 back in the day was considered good. And then when HD came out at like, what was it, 720 or something like that, people lost their minds, you know, but this is not HD. So for being 480 quality, it actually turned out decent. Now for me, the greatest hurdle to overcome when I was filming that video was the lack of a view screen. Right now, I can look at the screen, I can look in the camera, they're right next to each other. I can see myself in the frame. As I move my hands, they move on the same side. My left, I'm looking at the screen, it's on the left side. On that camera, there's no view screen whatsoever. How do you tell if you're in the frame? You have 2 choices. 1, have somebody film you, or 2, put the camera way back there to guarantee you're in the frame. Doing that, because there's no external microphone, you're subject to everything going on, airplanes going by over here, bridge work happening half a mile away, you know, sirens going off, helicopters coming. Can it pick up my voice 15 feet away? I don't know. Why risk all that? So I searched high and low, and this right here is a digital converter by a company called Porta, P-O-R-T-T-A. And it will actually convert VHS tapes and VHS-Cs onto an actual mini SD card. And I'll show you exactly how we did that. But basically, looking at the top right here, you have your yellow, white, and red. On that camera, we had a yellow and a white. Here's my digital converter. We have a yellow and a white. On the camera, we have a yellow and a white. So to bridge these 2 pieces of technology analog and digital, all we got to do is run some cables. Now, all I'm going to do is plug in the yellow for the video. If I plug in the white, the speaker in this will actually feed back from the speaker inside here. It's kind of like we get two microphones put together, it makes that big sound like that. So we don't want to do that. During a playback, that's cool. But when you want to film, I just need to use this for a screen to see what I'm doing. So yellow, take the opposite end over here. It says video, and you plug that in. Now, placing this on top, next to it, underneath it, I can now point wherever I want, and I can see my screen right here. This is the easiest way to cheat something like this. One and done. Last step, all we got to do is take our digital converter, put in a micro SD card, which we've already done that, and then give it a power source. These are compatible with any type of port of power. I'm going to run a cable from here directly into this, and voila, we're in business. Top port right there, plug it in. Give it power. At this point, all we did was we mounted our camera on the tripod. We got one of those bendable, I don't know what they call them, like monkey fingers or whatever, monkey toes. They wrap around, they're flexible, and they can just grab onto stuff. That's to hold the cell phone right there. And once we pop that in place, you can zoom in, and you can see exactly what that camera's looking at. Port of power battery pack can sit right there. There's a micro SD card. Plugged into video, and we're rolling. So far so good, we're looking outstanding. Now let's go ahead and talk about this Porta digital converter. This will work with a VCR or a camcorder. You simply plug it in the exact same way, and you can actually see firsthand what you recorded. Downside to this, if you're going to use it for a viewing screen like I just showed you, it's a mirror image. So as I'm sitting here and I move my right hand, it's still my right hand, it's just flipped on here, it's on the left side. So you're like, I have to move a little bit to the left. And you start moving, but it's the opposite. You really meant you need to move to the right. So that's a learning curve as well. But when you do a playback and you actually record, it comes out exactly what that camera saw. And the best part is, you're taking that tape and watching it, pressing your record button, and it's recording it to your micro SD card, which then you could just take off, put it into an iPad, laptop, etc., into your editing software, and just make your edits and move clips around as you want. In my opinion, messing with something like this, I thought it'd be a lot more complicated. I was actually looking into the old school ways of taking that cassette tape and popping it into an actual system about that big, and there's one on top and one below, and then a third one where you actually make your edits here, and then it records it onto another tape, and then it takes that tape and puts it onto either a disc, or you can actually have the option of the SD cards. And I was like, this is too complicated. It's gonna take 3 weeks to figure out. And then I came across this. Anywhere from 100 to 120 bucks. It's a one and done. And those that are older like me, or even older than me, and you have any memories on VHS tapes, or some things that you like to forget, you can always preserve them on an SD card, and then ultimately a hard drive or the cloud. All right, here we go. Corporals Corner 1990s camp out. We have our old school camel pants on from the 80s and 90s. We have our 1998 4Runner parked right over here. My tent, which you'll see here in a minute, and sleeping bag. And even the food is straight out of the 1990s. Anywhere from, I want to say, 91, 92-ish, all the way up to 1999. The camera right now is 1995. Search high and low, years, but we got her done. It's always a plan B, C, and D, and eventually a checkmate. There's currently a camera section on my Amazon store. I'll add this to it. Again, it's about anywhere from $99 up to $120, depending on who you buy it from on Amazon. It's a one and done. And again, in my opinion, if you have any memories that are on VHS tapes, the large ones, or even the C's like that one right there, things that you want to remember, or maybe some things that you want to forget, you can easily go on there, record it, get it on there and make your edits and save them forever. Or make sure that nobody ever finds them and destroy that tape. And then you can watch it and enjoy it later. But to be really honest, it was actually a good time filming with this. It was a learning curve because I had forgotten what all is entailed in this. And back in the day, there was no editing software. So pretty much you would just film a scene, cut, next, 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 and you just watch it like that. And back then, you're saying it is what it is, or it is what it was. But all in all, it was actually a good time. I enjoyed it. It was actually, you know, reminiscent of a time long ago when things were simpler. People's lives weren't wrapped around internet and posting and trying to get things done and, you know, fighting for a few moments once a week and hoping people watch. You know, it was a good time and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, if that video pops off and people enjoyed that content, we'll make more videos like this. We'll find other cameras, other types of filming equipment, and go out and try and do things like they used to do it, but give a modern twist on it. If not, we'll just move on to something else. On that note, hope you enjoyed this. It's a short, just a quick midweek video on what we did to bridge that gap. On that note, let's go ahead and get out of here. With that, all the gear in my videos can be found in one spot, my website, corporalscorner.com. Now, please do me a favor. Hit that like and subscribe button, and ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. And as always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time. And yes, my arm is getting better, and I'm wearing that brace about 50% of the time. Why? Because I almost have 100% mobility. Once I can do everything, another week or so, I can start using resistance bands. Do that for about a month, month and a half, and then we get back to the weights. Catch you all next time. Stay safe.